Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Going to be a very interesting and wider range of stories today in CSGO News. Make sure to look down below in the description for time markers to see what you guys are actually interested in watching. As always, let's get right into it. And first off today, guys, in Korean CSGO News, if you guys are interested in that growing Asian scene, as many of you guys know, this past summer we had the first Korean official tournament known as VSL Korea, and that was back this summer a couple months ago. They're returning with another showing, and that will be hopefully sometime soon this fall. Now, if you guys remember that first VSL Korea, it was 10 all-Korean teams. They've knocked it down to 8 teams. I like that a lot because that means the prize pool is better spread out to these 8 teams, but it'll also include MVP Project, who this past weekend you guys saw at the Starlight Invitational Season 2. That is a Korean team, MVP Project. They will be returning to actually VSL Korea this fall and going to be heavy favorites, as the team who placed second back in the summer, known as Autocracy, will not be there. Also, if you guys remember on CSGO News and also all over Reddit and HLTV a long time ago, there was a Korean female player known as Luminous who played for an all-male team known as Nomad. They will also not be returning. They didn't do too well in the first VSL Korea. So very excited because of these 8 teams, besides I think it was MVP Project and 2 monster teams, we have 5 brand new Korean rosters coming into the tournament. So very excited to see a slow and steady growth for this Korean scene. Also, the prize pool has been bumped up from $6,000 all the way up to $9,000. Still a very small prize pool, but still slow and steady growth for this Korean scene. Very excited to see what happens this fall in this tournament. Again, MVP Project though is probably going to be heavy favorites for the tournament. Still exciting to watch though. And then some quick news for all of you guys, especially you Danish fans out there. We have Tricked eSports, one of those Danish teams who lacks far behind Dignitas and Astralis, but who's been heavily invested in these past couple of months. Actually, kind of ironically there, because you know Astralis and Dignitas are so much better, but apparently Lars Christensen, a heavy investor, very rich guy, reportedly invested $1 million into this company, Tricked eSports organization, just a couple months ago. They've continued to make changes after that. As of yesterday, they kicked both their former players who both played for Copenhagen Wolves and was eventually kicked from that roster, and they joined Tricked eSports together. That was both Percy and Hunden, and they'll be replaced by 2 other players who also left another organization, Escape Gaming, together, and that'll be players Easy Tag and Mave. Now again, Escape Gaming is going to be a completely different story for all of you guys. That's one of a very unique roster who literally plays all their games with pickup players and stand-in players. I'll talk about them in another episode, guys. But yes, Easy Tag and Mave have finished off the Trick eSports roster. They will continue to be a 5-man all-Danish roster, so good luck to them in the future. And then some very important news for all of you guys. We have a WESA, or World Esports Association, announcement. This is going to be one of my longer stories if you guys want to skip past this, but they finally announced their player council, which I thought was very unique, and a lot of you guys probably need to hear about this because it's kind of another skeptical announcement by the WESA. So first off, they have 1 player from each team on this player council, so that's a total of 7 players on this player council. And first off, you guys will realize that 3 of these 7 players, so nearly half of this player council, are not even players for these teams. So first off, from G2 we have Niak. If you guys have never heard about Niak, it's because he's a manager for G2, not a player. We also have Chris J, and we also have Starix from Navi, Chris J from Sports. We have Starix from Navi, who, yes, he is Navi's coach. Although he does occasionally stand in for the team, he's still a coach, not a player. We also have Freiburg, Taz, MBK, and then to finish off this 7-member player council, we have Vugo, who again is no longer even a coach for Fnatic and barely even a managerial role, so technically a manager right now for Fnatic. That makes 3 of these 7 players on this player council to be managers, which first half has to make you think, how official can a player council truly be if the players don't even want to be a part of it? You know, you can imagine, because they have these 7 teams, they have 35 players plus managers and coaches to choose from, and all of a sudden you can see them going like, hey guys, we need a player council member. Who wants to sign up, guys? Because who wants to represent all of our voices to this player council? And literally none of these players for G2, for Fnatic, for that third team, was it Navi, all of them, none of them wanted to, no one, Simple didn't want to raise his hand and say, I would love to represent the team. It has to make you think, why would that be? Is there really any voice here if the players don't even want to be a part of it? Because that's very skeptical to me that over half the player council, or nearly half the player council, are not even players. So second off, guys, we have Vugo, who's actually unanimously decided to be the representative of the whole player council, which means he gets a spot on the executive board. Another skeptical thing here, because you have players like Chris J, like Freiburg, like MBK, who have no ties to eSports, and of course they were not even given the chance or possibly decided for this player role. If you guys don't know what I mean by that, we have teams like Navi, Virtus Pro, SK Gaming, all have ties so far, and G2's, suspectedly have ties to this eSports and upper levels of ESL as well. So it seems kind of ironic that, of course, a Fnatic member would get this exec board role. He actually will be representing the entire player council. This is Vugo, and also get a spot on the executive board. Who knows what that actually ties to, but apparently he'll represent the voice for all of the players in a whole. So again, allegedly, guys, this is empowers all these players on the council with a wide range of decisions about tournaments, which are regulated by WESA. So all these players get to say things about regulations that WESA has already stated. Now, I think the main power this player council has is deciding rules and consequences for those rules. Besides that, though, I don't think the player council has much power. They can't all of a sudden go out and say, hey, we want to play here. They also apparently have a wider range of choices of player transfers. Who knows what that means, that wording there. The document says they have a wide range of decisions, including on rules and policies, as well as on player transfers. Now, I'm not sure what that will all entail and what power that actually gives them, but overall, guys, another broad statement here by WESA, so not really sure what to think about it as of right now. And so another very interesting story for all of you guys today on CSGO News is going to be another long one as well. I know a lot of you guys are looking for shorter videos. I am sorry for that, but first off, I do want to talk about the fxy0 situation. If you guys did not hear late last week, fxy0 came out with a ban appeal to Valve. As many of you guys know, we had DaZe and other iBuyPower players trying to contact Valve in these last few months as well, with Valve never even responding to all of those ex-iBuyPower players. So first off, if you guys don't know who fxy0 is, he's a former Epsilon player. Currently, he's a backup for Millennium. He's currently banned as well. He can't play in any Valve-sponsored events, meaning he really can't play CSGO at all, and he's still trying to. So if you guys did not see that last week, he tried to come out with a ban appeal, the same one DaZe tried in contact with them, but he actually had a lot of conditions saying, you know, all these things he would do to try and get back in the game. He would teach players to not cheat. He'd do all these anti-cheat lessons. He'd donate $10,000 of his time, worth of time. Whoever knows what he would charge for an hourly rate of teaching kids that. But he came out with all these conditions of why he would actually deserve to play back in the game. Valve has still yet responded to him, and of course, I don't think they actually will. So if you guys don't know the background story about fxy0, I'm going to tell all of you guys why I really think this guy doesn't really deserve to be unbanned and why he probably should move on to a different esport. This might come off as completely rude to all of you guys, but it's my personal opinion about how he handled the situation back in 2014. Yes, for those of you who do not know, this whole entire situation, which he just brought back up a couple days ago, occurred back in 2014, almost exactly 2 years ago from today. So if you guys do not know, it was a match versus Epsilon and Overgaming. Yes, Epsilon and Overgaming. If you can imagine a game like that today, a game that Epsilon would probably win against one of those lower tier teams that you never heard about. This was back in September 2014, but the instance never really came up until January of 2015. So several months later, this same Epsilon roster decided to kick one of their players who played in that Overgaming match back in September. His name is GMX. They decided to kick him from the roster a couple months later in January of 2015, and this is when GMX pulled the D-bag move of the year, possibly in all of CSGO for 2015. He decided to tell the whole world, well, guess what, guys? I got kicked by Epsilon, but screw all of you because we actually threw that match back in September of 2014. Here's the proof, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, Scream, the current G2 player, yeah, that Scream, he's the only innocent member. And guess what happened, guys? Every single member on that roster, including GMX, including fxy0, Uzi, as well as PM, I believe the fourth member was, everyone but Scream received a permanent ban because of this. Now, fxy0 also came out with a video to HLTV directly with an apology, and he even stated about this, and this is the part that really gets under my skin, guys, is how he handled the situation a couple days ago with his announcement is completely different how he handled that situation back in 2015. So I'm going to show you guys a quick clip of this video about him stating, here's fxy0 himself. He even came out with an apology video and even stated this. He stated words saying, I really didn't even care. I don't really care about pixels. It was just for fun. So what kind of pro player, I know again this is back in 2015, he wasn't really probably thinking about the situation in a whole, and he wasn't probably thinking about coming back to CSGO anytime soon because of this, but he actually stated very clearly he didn't care about pixels, he just cheated for fun.
Hello everyone, I make this video to respond to the GMX accusation. T-side on nuke because it's the ESA rules and it's no veto system, no catch run, it's like this. And we know that our team was pretty bad on nuke because we never play this map, and Overgaming was a really good team on it, and we decided to play the match not at our 100% capacity. And we decided to give our skin to friends so they can bet for yours. That's really sad, and I know that. And you guys need to know that I don't care about fucking pixel, really. I don't care. I have made this just for fun, really. And
so I hope you guys all enjoy this story. Because of this, I'm probably going to push every story back to CSGO News probably tomorrow as well. If you guys can tell the weird lighting right now, if you look right here, my phone screen is entirely cracked. I'll show you guys in a second here. I shattered my phone yesterday, but hope you guys all enjoyed. This is why exactly I don't believe the ex-iBuyPower roster, if they're not going to be able to come back, I don't believe fxy0 or any of these ex-Epsilon players will come back as well. Valve has done a great job at not responding to these guys, because if they ever did respond to one, we'd find probably a way around, you know, if they ever came came back with consequences or conclusions, players would try to probably meet those requirements. Even if they were extreme requirements, Valve said, hey, you have to donate $100,000 here and there, players would somehow come up with a way to actually meet those requirements. So hope you guys all enjoy this episode of CS News. I know I only shared 4 stories with all of you guys. Hopefully going to have as well as shorter episodes in the future. As always, live, love, laugh a lot. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow or sometime soon, more CS News. Remember, my name is Jake. I like you. Goodbye.